I'm here at Hotel Football today to talk business with a man of many talents. He's a property developer, a hospitality tycoon, a football club co-owner. He also had a brief spell playing guitar with the Charlatans, as well as playing a bit of football earlier in his career. I'm going to talk to him about what makes his business brain tick and where his relentless drive comes from. So please welcome none other than Mr. Gary Neville. Gary, thanks for meeting with me today. Let's start with this place, Hotel Football. It's been a huge success since it opened in 2015 and now a big part of the match-going experience for football fans across the globe.
Yeah.
Football theme's obvious, but where did the idea for Hotel come from?
I picked up the land with a fan about 6 years ago and just put some money in to help. Initially with the idea of a supporters club, and then it just didn't work from a feasibility point of view. So we basically looked at a hotel scenario and it worked, and just thought, right, so it's a hotel and I want it to be themed around football. And I wrote the two words down. I thought, Hotel Football. That was where the name came from. And then we just started to develop the brand. We used the people who designed the brand for Levi and Wrangler. We wanted it to basically appeal to all football fans. We knew that Manchester United only played 26 times a year. And away we went. And it's probably now we're sat here today, but in its fourth year of trading, and it's stabilising for the first year this year. So it's really started to settle down now. It's a good product. We know what it is. We've got consistency with it, and it's enjoyable.
Of course, you just opened the Stock Exchange Hotel in Manchester. Why go for a luxury hotel for that one instead?
It's just completely different. It's right in smack bang in the city centre of Manchester. And just the building itself is quite historic. It's Grade 2 listed. It just lends itself more towards being sort of more a five-star product.
There's a great video on the website where someone talks about the character of the building, the character of the people there. Then when you think wider of Manchester, the working bee symbol, and you yourself on your social media attack the day, your group's called Relentless. Where does your drive come from? Why do you have to be doing so much?
I don't know, you have a choice in life, don't you? Either get up and try and do things or you don't. And I think that's everybody's choice every single day. And it was bedded in terms of my parents' beliefs, my coach's beliefs, my manager's belief when I was at United. So I'm very fortunate to have been surrounded by a lot of people who've shown me the way and just followed, really.
Other than your commitments than Sky, you keep a very heavy hand in football with Salford, and you touched upon it there. It's developed a long way. You look at the last season, reaching the Football League.
Yeah.
I've now developed the Peninsula Stadium. What's the next step in that for you?
No, for Salford this year, people say to me all the time, you must be happy stabilising in sort of mid-table positions. And I'm not happy at all. Why should I be happy? I think that we've always challenged for promotion, and I think that we need to challenge for promotion this year. And we've got to somehow engineer a position whereby the group of players, the manager, the coaching staff feel invigorated and stimulated to go and win 6 or 7 games, because it'll absolutely change the dynamic of this season, and we need to do that. And I'm confident we can do that.
And when you look back at the off-field developments over the last few years, particularly the ground, the way that it's developed, the club's infrastructure, how proud are you looking at that we've now got a very impressive 5,000-seat stadium?
Do you know something? It's like everything. It's like just opening the Stock Exchange Hotel or opening this hotel. You never really, because it moves into operational phase straight away. You open the stadium and then you're playing in it, and it's continuous. And that's why I suppose in some ways my favourite word is relentless, because what stops?
You've got directorships in over 30 companies.
30? I need to close them down then. Can you close some companies down, Mika? Is she gone? She's walked off. How'd you get water?
Which is obviously a lot. How do you deal with the headaches? There's a lot of red tape there. How do you keep on top of everything?
Do you know something? I've made a big decision in the last 3 weeks. I've come off email and WhatsApp, so that I'm not necessarily micromanaging, but I'm not seeing the operational detail in every single business. There is no need. And it's made it a lot easier for me to be able to think sort of differently about the businesses and think in a different way, and start to think about big things and thinking about little things. So in terms of, you talk about 30 directorships, I have been stretched over the last 6, 7, 8 years. We've got rid of 3 or 4 businesses. They failed. Ideas that I came up with that didn't work. I don't have a problem with that. It happens. But as long as you recognise you know, what it is that went wrong in those businesses, why it didn't succeed, and that you don't do it again, you don't make those mistakes again. I'm comfortable with it. But I have made a big change in the last few weeks, and it's a change that ultimately I think I needed to make. I was seeing everything on every single project all the time, and it was just too much.
Working with Peninsula very closely, obviously you and Peter Doan, big names in Salford and around the area. How crucial are they in helping the businesses?
Yeah, they're crucial, because I think that when you do a partnership with a sponsor of a football club, it's important that it isn't just the sort of badge on the stadium or a badge on the shirt. It has to be more than that. We had a meeting with Peninsula 2 weeks ago about Salford in terms of one, our HR support, and obviously we're professionalising the club. We're in the Football League for the first time this year, and Peninsula have done that service for hotel football and for GG Hospitality now for a few years and been fantastic. And I think with Salford also, what I wanted to put in place was a mental health support system in and around the club, and we want to put sort of a mental health support in place, HR in place, but also other things around advice and other areas that we can sort of help our staff with, and working with them in partnership now to be able to deliver that as a sort of a constant service for the club over the next few years, but also move it into our hospitality business as well, which obviously is a little bit further ahead. We have already got the support from Peninsula on that side.
You mentioned before about you've had a few ventures that you've set up and failed. Have you got a coping mechanism for when things don't completely go right? How do you deal with that?
Well, Valencia didn't go right, and a couple of restaurants that I've had didn't go right. We had a business that went into sustainable energy that didn't go right. And they've all failed for different reasons. Some through lack of planning, some through lack of experience and knowledge of a sector or an industry. I include Valencia in that. And I do reflect upon them that they actually, you learn more from them than you do the ones that have been successful, because they give you the lessons, you make better decisions moving forward, you're harder with your decision making moving forward. I think you take less on. Once you fail 2 or 3 times, you're a bit more wary and careful about what you take on, how you take things on.
Would you say that's your one big bit of advice for any budding business entrepreneurs out there?
I would say for any entrepreneur who's thinking of going into it, you must go for it. If you're in a business and you're a director and you feel like you've got the ability to set up your own company, you should go for it. You should definitely fly.
Sometimes that involves putting yourself out your comfort zone, and you said after Valencia that you're actually proud of that because you're trying something new. What is it about being out of your comfort zone that you've perhaps enjoyed or that you've looked forward to?
I think being out of your comfort zone, there's two things about being out of your comfort zone. One thing is being out of your comfort zone in an area that you know, and then there's being out of a comfort zone in an area that you don't know. So, for instance, going into food and beverage and nightclubs, which I did for 2 or 3 times, was madness really, because I didn't know it. Whereas if you go into, say, for instance, Sky, which is out of my comfort zone when I first started Monday Night Football, at least I know football. So the idea of taking a risk, people remember at the time when I went to Sky were saying it's ridiculous that Sky can employ this dyed-in-the-wool Manchester United fan. It was everywhere. It's a disgrace. How's this going to happen? How's he going to commentate on Liverpool, on City, and how's he going to not be biased for Manchester United? All those things came out. But it was a risk, but I took it. Whereas regards to Valencia, it was an area that I knew, but I underestimated it. And I'd not thought of coaching and managing every single day, which I think you need to do. Such a difficult job coaching and managing, and I didn't do it. And I was doing business, I was doing media, I was doing different projects. And I think to be a football manager, you need to be 100% committed. Just like if I was running a hotel, I don't run a hotel. I own the hotel, but we have a real good team that work underneath. And I think at Valencia, that's why I'm more suited to being an owner of a football club, I think, than I'm more suited to being an owner of a football club than I am a coach or a manager. So, but you should go out your comfort zone if you can, but make sure it's in an area that you've got some knowledge in.
Funnily enough, you mentioned that, because just finally, dilemma for you. Liverpool become all-time record Premier League winners, never to be beaten, or Jamie Carragher becomes Salford City's long-term owner, replacing the class of '92. Which do you choose? Would you trust Carragher to run the club?
No. I won't trust him to run my bath. So what are you saying, that Liverpool are going to win 21 titles and overtake United?
All-time record Premier League winners, never to be beaten, or Jamie Carragher.
Has Carragher got a limited time in charge of Salford, like a year? I'd give him a year. He couldn't do that much damage in a year. No, I don't want Liverpool to overtake United. I mean, you think of the work that went on for all those years at United to overtake Liverpool's incredible haul of trophies in the Premier League, domestic titles. No, I don't want them to overtake. We've got a little bit of a cushion. I think they could win it this year and get to 19. But hopefully we'll buck up and others will buck up and stop them the year after, and we'll get back to where we want to be. But no, I'd let Carragher hold a Salford for a year before I think I'd let Liverpool overtake United's title haul.